until my late 30s. And I did my undergrad at night, 7 years. And it was the best thing that happened to me because that's when I discovered, after spending 30 years, 25 years in theater, that I was a writer. And that's where I discovered my writing. And probably because of school, I may not have met my future husband, because once you change your path, everything else changes with you. So, Women's History Month. Do you know when Women's History Month started?
The year?
It was Women's International, I'm the entertainment part, they would say that. It was International Women's Day, 1911.
Really?
Yes, it was the socialists and the communists that started Women's History Month.
Really?
Wow.
That's right, they started all that stuff. So, I'm going to read a few pieces because I'm a poet and performance artist. Some of the pieces that I'm going to read to you today are also part of my one-woman show. So, Lágrimas de mis Manos, my biography that I was talking about universities. And I was just telling Bobby, getting on the train, coming up here, I said, whoa, I have to announce when I perform at Fordham in April that this is the 15th anniversary of my play. That I've been performing this piece throughout the country for 15 years. It got published in 2000 by Marquette and Michigan State University. And about my grandmother, her name was Doña Carmen. Doña Carmen was also, I am a slash Catholic slash Espiritista and everything else that goes in there. So I don't deny my roots. I keep all of them in perspective. My grandmother, in the 40s, was an entrepreneur, and she owned 3 botanicas in the Bronx. Yes, she had 3 botanicas in the Bronx. In her later years, she lost them, and she used to see people in her home in Simpson. And when I was a little girl, my parents were separated by then, so Saturdays was when I was shipped off to the Bronx to see my father. It's just a whole nother story. So I would get on the 6th train, switch 125th Street, get off up here, come down the steps. There used to be I think it was a Crest, like a 5 and 10.
Woolworths.
Woolworths.
You could go from one side to
Underneath
the
the
other.
L. When you got off the train, it was right there underneath the L. And I loved it because
you could go in one side
you
and
could
come
go
out
in
the
one
other
side and
side.
come out the other, and it had these beautiful. You look so puzzled because we're taking you back to.
No, I'm just looking. I'm paying attention.
In your entire life, so you're getting a serious history lesson today, my child. Amen. So moving forward, abuela. So you get off the train, and she would pick me up, and I used to love it because the first thing she did was she would take me inside that Woolworth. What I liked about it had these beautiful mahogany wooden doors. It was still like a 19th century old store, and it had the wood floors. And she'd buy me my candy. So when you're talking about the candy, I was reading in the book about the bodega when you would take the 10 cents and buy the penny candy. And yes, Guggenheim dentist. Oh my God, that's a whole history in itself. So when I used to go to my grandmother's house, she had a room. She had like a railroad apartment. And she had this room where people would go see her. And one time I went in that room, and it scared the living daylights out of me. She had an altar that went from the floor to the ceiling. And when you're little, things look bigger than what they really are. So she had this altar with like steps, and then the candles and everything. So this is called Abuela. Cabo, 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 sileo. Cabo, 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 sileo. Incense swirling up from behind the door. Yoruba prayer songs being sung by Celia Cruz. Grandma in her room, dark shadows of saints on altars with candles lit. A table covered with cloth. Someone sitting in a chair crying. Grandma comforting, consoling, advising. Throwing seashells on the floor, taking the shape of a star. Cigar smoke spiraling out from the side of her mouth. Picking up the shells, she tells the person it's going to be okay. writing down some things. She gives them a list. Te veo sábado que viene. The person nods, ashamed to be crying. Grabbing their bags, they rush out hurriedly. Abuela sighs, goes over to her altar, prays in her African language, then in Spanish, blows out the candles and comes out. Taking me by the hand, she smiles at me. It's Abuela again. Funny, she doesn't smell like cigars. Her dark green eyes flash at me like a cat. Watching my face, she's still smiling. Looking down at me, she says, Mija, one day this will be yours.